Hey Sioux Falls, Shannon Austin here with another Public Works update. Fall is here and we have a lot of construction projects that we have to update you on, so stay tuned. Our first project update is on North Minnesota Avenue from 2nd Street up to Russell Street. And this project, even though it's been going on all summer, there's been a lot of work going on every day. Our project manager, Pat, we're driving on new concrete, which is wonderful. Yep. So these lanes that are under construction right now, what has to be done yet?
We're just finishing up the underground utilities. Here in another week or so, we'll be done with underground utilities, and then we'll start building road.
So there wasn't as many underground utilities on this segment? Is that correct?
There's just the 12-inch water main and then a little bit of storm sewer on this side. So
okay.
We're getting all that finished up here, and then we're going to start building road. So.
And was there any material delay for this section or not?
There was not. We got after this project, so in the bidding season, so early that we were able to get all of our materials early. So.
Wonderful. So when do you think we'll see some new pavement by October?
Yeah, I'd say a couple weeks we'll start putting concrete down here.
Great.
We gotta get the cement treated base down first, but then we'll start building road.
So cement treated, I thought that we only use that in wet areas. Why do we use that cement treated base?
We're using it on this project so we can get a good, firm, stable base for Minnesota Avenue. So hopefully it lasts for many, many years to come.
Great. Okay, so we start paving the lanes, and then for the center median, that'll probably be the last thing to be done. Is that correct?
That's correct. The center median will be last, and at that point we'll probably push traffic to outside of both sides of the road so that we can have the middle of the road to build that. Okay. We'll try and get the curb and gutter for the median in on this when we're working on this side, but we'll probably build the median itself with pushing traffic to the outside. Okay, so then what is the ultimate completion of this project? November 17th. November 17th. So right now it looks like they're going to meet that. We should have no problem meeting that. Okay, and was there incentive on this project? There is, yep. So the contractor's got 10 days of incentive at the end here, so hopefully he can get that done and get that incentive captured too. And was there any other interim incentive? There was an interim incentive for the 42-inch water main so that with sprinkler systems and stuff kicked on, that the water treatment plant could turn water down the new 42-inch water main. Okay. That incentive too was met. Oh, so. Wonderful. So he's very well organized when it comes to the project then. Right. Very good. Okay. So we will continue to see one lane at least in one direction, but certainly on target to meet our November completion date. Absolutely. Awesome. And then what will happen in the spring? Anything? We just maybe a little bit of seeding that we got to catch up on in the front yards and whatnot, but we should be, other than that, we should be sitting pretty good. All right. Well, anything you want to tell our viewers about the project? Anything else that I might have missed? Just drive safe through the project. Great. That's always a good comment. So thanks so much for your update. Thank you, Shannon. Well, we are now out here on the east side of the city at Arrowhead Parkway and 6 Mile Road. We welcome back Krista, our project manager. So a lot's happened since we've been out probably last month. There wasn't a lot of pavement going on yet, but it looks like the contractor's been busy.
The contractor has been very busy out here. They have started paving Arrowhead Parkway west of 6 Mile Road. They have one more mainline pave to get these two north lanes complete. So the two north lanes, tell me, is that the interim completion, or will we be driving on those two north lanes? Yes. So the two north lanes is all that they are required to have done this year. Okay. And we will drive on those two lanes over the winter, so that they can get started right away next year on the south two lanes. So are they technically ahead of schedule then? Because it's not, there's no snow yet. We have been lucky with weather this year. It's been pretty dry and pretty mild. I'd say they're right on schedule. There are some things still finishing up utilities on the very east end. Okay. And then tell me about 6 Mile Road. So 6 Mile Road appears to be all paved out. Yep. And we're driving on it now, right? We are. So what will that look like as we open up the two northbound lanes on Arrowhead? Will the intersection be fully open or partially open? Or? Yes, so the intention is within the next week or so to fully open all lanes on 6 Mile Road. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so then let's talk about the area that is closed for a while still from 6 Mile Road over to to Willow Run. What's going on there then? Okay, so they installed that box culvert, and then they installed the MSE wall. Okay. And now they're just backfilling. They have a couple of more utilities to install over there, a couple of crossings to maintain the storm drainage that we want to get installed before we reopen it to traffic. So that's been closed since when? It's been closed for a while. About the end of August, I think, was when we shut it down. Okay. and they still have around 20 working days left on their contract for
So
that.
hopefully by mid-October they should be open?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so what else do we have? All the utilities are in on Arrowhead then, except for the east end.
Yep.
And then what is the final completion of the overall project for next year?
Final completion, field completion will be August next year.
Okay, so we'll be back out here then.
We will.
And will traffic be closed at all next year, and then just looking ahead?
Traffic should not be closed
Okay.
next year.
But there'll be lane closures.
There'll be some lane closures. There'll be some day closures when we're doing some utilities
Okay,
for
perfect.
driveways. But
All right, well, wonderful. Well, thank you very much for your time today.
thanks, Shannon.
Our next stop is at 41st Street in Sycamore, and this is actually on my commute to work, Chad, and it feels like this project has been going on for a long time, but I think it's just because it makes me get to work slower. So,
Yeah, it's
but
a lot of work.
yes, but we've got substantial improvements since the last time we were here, and we're driving on new pavement, right?
Yes.
Okay,
we are.
so what is left to do this year?
We've got the asphalt mill and overlay to the north between 26th and 41st.
Okay.
And we've got the remaining 2 phases of the intersection on the south side.
So does the mill and overlay impact 33rd Street, or is the 33rd Street intersection done?
It will be impacted because we will be working around it,
Okay.
but the work in 33rd intersection is done.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit about what is actually left then at the intersection here.
We have the south side of the intersection is what's remaining. A lot of that has the turn lanes and the medians a part of it.
Okay.
So this is going to be the largest portion of concrete work that we do in these south 2 phases. The utility work is just being completed, and private utilities are being adjusted. We're hoping to be paving soon.
So is there as much utility work on these lanes as there was in the first phase?
There's not as much city work, city
Okay.
utility work, but there's a lot of private utilities that need to be moved, just like in the first phase.
Okay, so is the project behind schedule? Because I know when we talked last time it was running behind schedule, but with our nice weather, has the contractor been able to make up some time?
They have. We are closer to our initial planned schedule than before, so we've made up time.
Okay, so and what is the final completion where they're going to be done? Is it going to be this year?
Yes, it's going to be in November.
Okay, so and does the contractor think they'll have any issues meeting that completion date?
At this time, the way things are going, we don't think so.
Okay, so one of the last phases, I guess something to look for our drivers will likely be the median then, right? Because typically a lot of the work goes down and the lanes go down, but then the median always comes back last. Is that going to be the way it is here?
On 41st Street, the median will be the last thing that they get paved. We're very
Okay.
close to the end. The very last portion that they'll see out here will be actually the west side of Sycamore going south. That'll be the very last portion.
Okay, will they do the west side of Sycamore and the south side of 41st Street at the same time? Like they're
No. They'll be doing the west side of 41st Street with the east side of 41st Street
Okay,
as
okay,
well.
okay.
So we're combining some of the work that was going to be in the final phase with the third phase, the second to the last phase,
Okay.
to try to make up time.
So certainly with school starting, has there been an increase of traffic through the area?
Certainly.
Yeah, and it's important that we remind our drivers to pay attention, right?
Yep.
Okay, well, is there anything else you'd like to tell our drivers and viewers?
No, I think that's it.
Great. Well, thanks so much for your time, and we'll be back probably in a month to see how close we are to fully open.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, our next stop is on Cliff Avenue from 49th Street to 56th Street, and we welcome back Ross, who's our resident engineer, and wow, it looks wonderful out here.
Yeah, looks like a almost complete road.
Absolutely.
finally.
So is all of the paving on the main line then done?
So all of the mainline paving is done. All of the side street paving is done. So essentially all the concrete surfacing and asphalt patching is done on the
Wonderful.
project. Yep.
So, and let's talk a little bit about the side slope. Is all of the side slope then, the embankment all seeded and
Yep.
everything?
The embankment's all been graded according to the plans, compacted. Now it's all seeded, restored, and there's a temporary blanket down just to kind of prevent some of the erosion that we see on the side slopes.
So that'll just be native prairie grass then, is basically?
Yep.
Okay.
Essentially they'll just turn into grass and get mowed every so often probably,
Okay.
but
So it looks really different.
yes.
I mean, and so on that side, will we have anything else on that west side of Cliff Avenue?
So the only thing to add on that west side, as you're going around the curve towards the north end of the project, there is a guardrail installation that still needs to go in.
Okay.
And then a little bit of signage.
Okay.
But essentially, what you see on the west side, for the most part, is what it'll be kind of at the end of the job also.
Okay. So we've been, on our previous stops, we've been talking a little bit about material delays, because we've had some material delays on other projects.
Yep.
Have you had any material delays out here, or is everything...
No, everything's really gone smoothly. You know, there was some current concern earlier on with some of the water main materials, and guardrail was one of the items that was a concern. But with the city's procurement on this job, with all the water main materials, we were able to get those ahead of time. So that wasn't a concern and wasn't an issue. And then the guardrail kind of fell into place because it's a short length on this job.
Very good. So that's one of the things that the drivers will see when they come around driving that southbound then.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So we have a shared use path. Is that all complete too?
Yeah, the shared use path is all complete. Just needs to be dusted off a little bit, and then it'll be ready to open up soon.
All right. So final completion of the project. When do you think everything will be done?
You know, the final completion date isn't until November, but I think we're expecting the road to be open and pretty much all the work to be done by mid-October at this point.
Okay.
So we're a little bit ahead of schedule.
Perfect. So last time we were out here, we had just opened it up to traffic and then school started. How is the school traffic?
It gets backed up still,
Yeah.
you know, with only one lane in each direction open. So during those rush hours, it's still backed up, but I think once we can open up all the lanes, people will see the real improvement.
Yeah. So we just want to remind our drivers to keep their speeds down during the construction zone and be aware of the surroundings. So
yep, exactly.
Is there any work to be done at either one of the signals at 49th Street or 57th Street?
No, there's no signal work included in with this project.
Okay.
So nothing that we know of right now.
Perfect. All right. Well, I think we'll be back once you get all the lanes open.
Sounds good.
Thanks so much for your update.
Yep. Thanks, Shannon.
All right. Well, we are on the west side now on one of my favorite projects, 41st Street and Interstate 29 Diverging Diamond. And wow, there's been a lot of work done this summer. We welcome back Chad Hannish from IDG. Chad, there looks like we don't hardly have anything left to do this year.
Yeah, there's a lot of pavement that's been put down, but there is still quite a bit of smaller things. Be a little bit slower going with the paving. You got the three main lanes in each direction paved, but then now it's a lot of curb and gutter and median and sidewalk.
Okay. Is the sidewalk all done on the south side?
For the most part, yeah, it is. The sidewalk is in place. There's still a couple pieces up on a few of the intersections, but for the most part, it's all in.
Very good. So when will traffic be able to drive on the new paved westbound lanes then?
So actually, next week, they're thinking about switching traffic over, at least the westbound lanes over to this side. And so there'll be traffic on each side.
Great.
That'll allow them to do some of the median work.
So that'll probably be until the remainder of the project then. So our drivers will be able to go on both eastbound and westbound lanes then.
Yep.
Okay, great. So let's see, how about the traffic signals? We've heard a little bit of material delay on other projects. How is the traffic signal delay? Are they going to be installed this year or not? Or
the 41st and Marion and Terry plan to be installed. Actually, there's a truck up on the Marion intersection right now that has some of those materials being unloaded.
Great, so at least we won't have that delay, so that's wonderful. Okay, so what is going to happen then between the end of October or the end of September to November? Is the contractor going to be out here until pretty much Thanksgiving, or will they be off the project sooner?
No, they will be out here. There's retaining wall work that's happening up by the interchange itself. Like I said, there's a lot of sidewalk, curb and gutter, median work that still needs to happen. And so that'll still occur over the next 2 months till that winter season, basically.
But please tell me it'll be open for, the Thanksgiving Black Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
very good, very good. There's a lot of shoppers and drivers out there that I'm sure they're concerned about that.
Yep, for sure.
Anything, well, let me ask, so with the additional new pavement, are the speeds through the construction zone staying down, or do our drivers need to be reminded to slow down through the construction zone?
Always need to be reminded.
Yeah.
There's the traffic backs up a little bit, and so people get a little anxious. So maybe try and push it a little bit, but there's We just have a lot of people out here doing
Right.
construction, and sometimes it's tight. So yeah, if they could slow down,
Great.
always.
And then next year we'll be back and we're going to be working on the bridge, right?
Bridge, and then the east side of the bridge, similar to this side. You know, expanding that 3 lanes, sidewalks, curbs. We got some walls along the interchange,
Okay.
and then yes, the bridge itself and the
All right.
ramps.
So a lot of work yet.
Yes, there's still a lot of work.
All right. And the contractor's working on a concrete channel along Interstate 29,
Yep.
right? Is that going to be done before the snow flies?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Actually, next week there's another pour for that as you head south, and then they do plan on having that done yet this year.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you very much for your update.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, our last update is on North Marion Road from about Interstate 90 north. And we welcome to the show Brad Ludens. Brad, this project on North Marion Road really isn't known by a lot of people, but they know where Amazon is at.
Yep.
And so it's north of Amazon, right?
Yep. The project extends from North Foundation Court, which is the north leg of that loop road through Foundation Park, and it goes from there to 259th Street, which is a half mile or so north of Amazon.
Okay.
And then it also goes on 259th Street then from Marion Road east, just across the railroad tracks.
Okay. So what are we building out here?
Well, this is the first year of a multi-year project to basically pave Marion Road from Foundation Park up to the Crooks Runner Road,
Okay.
Minnehaha County Highway 130. What we're doing this year is just paving up to 259th Street, and then from 259th Street east to the railroad tracks, and we're putting in water main and street surfacing. The road will look very similar to how it looks in front of Amazon, with curb and gutter on the east side, and then just a rural section ditch on the west side.
So the road is completely closed off to traffic?
Yes, it is
Okay.
right now.
And just local residents can?
Yep, there's
okay.
there's some houses along the project that we're maintaining access to.
Okay. So a 3-year project or multi-year project. What will this section look like? Will it look like what's to the south?
Yes, it'll be just one lane each direction, just like it is to the south, with
Okay.
possibility for future expansion, when traffic dictates in 20 or 30 years.
Okay. So what's the contractor working on? Is he just mainly grading then?
Yeah, right now we've got the gravel work completed on Marion Road, and they're going to be working on putting gravel on 259th Street here later today or later this week. And then next week, plan on starting to pave on Marion Road. That'll take a week or two to get all the concrete pavement on Marion Road complete, and then we'll focus on paving on 259th Street to the east.
So will everything be done by the end of this construction season?
Yeah, for this current phase,
Oh, great.
we'll be done up to 259th Street by the end of this year. We do have to come back next fall in this area to add some turn lanes and stuff after Excel relocates some of their big power poles in the area.
Okay.
But the through lanes will be done.
Okay,
and
so
road will open.
we've kind of had a nice little route around the city today talking to the various project managers. We've talked a little bit about material delays. We've had some signal delays and not much water main anymore, but did you have any water main delays on this project?
Well, this is one of the projects you probably talked about, how the city procured some water main. This is one of the projects that the city procured water main on in order to kind of beat the not the shortage, but the long lead times and things
Right.
like that for those materials. So we were able to acquire those and have those ready for the contractor as soon as he was ready to go on the project. So we haven't seen any delays due to that. I don't know if you've talked about the cement shortage that's kind of going on in the region. So we haven't really experienced any delays due to that either. Just require some a little bit more advanced planning on the part of the contractor to make sure that the plants are able to meet the demand when he's ready for it.
Good. So then looking ahead, just overall for construction in 2023, do we anticipate those same delays?
That's what we're kind of hearing. We're kind of hearing water main, especially is still, we're looking at anywhere from 3 months to 6 months for some of the different parts and
Okay.
pieces that we might need. Cement shortage, I think what we're hearing is the forecast is supposed to get better going into
Good.
2023. So we're keeping our eyes and ears out there to see what's
Right.
going on, and we're already making arrangements for next year to try to get ahead of the water main procurement and lead time issues as
Great.
well. So,
Great planning on our part then.
yeah.
Yeah, very good. So this project actually, while not a lot of drivers will ever see this unless they, in the future there's more development up here, but this is really a good project for a contractor just to, bring all of its equipment and with minimal delays to keeping it open to traffic or anything like
Yep,
that.
it's nice that we're able to close a road like this. Contractors usually able to get the work done a
Yeah.
little bit quicker. Obviously, it's not feasible on a project like 41st Street or Minnesota Avenue or something like that when we have so much traffic. But out here on the edges of town where there's not as much traffic, it's something that's definitely a nice option to have.
Right. So, and I know a lot of our viewers have heard that Amazon kind of slowed their opening, but we still are doing this in advance just for economic development along the entire corridor.
Yep.
Right?
I mean, with Amazon and FedEx is also in Foundation Park, and there's a lot of other trucking and transportation needs and businesses in Foundation Park that, even though we've asked them to go down to I-90 and Marion Road, a lot of them are going to the north on the existing gravel roads, and the gravel roads just aren't designed to handle that heavy traffic with the trucks and whatnot. So this is something to get ahead of, not just the development that's already in Foundation Park, but also with some of the future businesses that are planning to come into the existing Foundation Park North. There's going to be significant amount of traffic that'll be increasing over the next several years.
Right, and I know the DOT and the city of Sioux Falls, as well as the city of Crooks and Minnehaha County, are also studying the Renner Crooks exit right now. So anticipation of the growth. So we're growing.
Yes, we are.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for your update today.
Yep.
Well, that does it for this episode. And wow, we have done a lot of work this summer, but we still have to finish up on a lot of our projects. So please stay tuned to SiouxFalls.org for the latest street construction updates, and we'll probably see you in about a month or so. Until then, see you on the streets.